Hi guys, I'm Britt Dewey and this is my Module 5, Understanding My Community. Alright, so my school, um, we have three separate towns or communities that feed into our school district. Each one of these each one of these towns rather have tremendous pride within their community. So there's a natural rivalry between each town. Each town is pretty different and they're spread out from 30 minutes from far side to 15 minutes to the two towns that are closest together. Most people in our school district commute to work, which is in Topeka, Kansas, and that's about a 30-minute commute for our community to get to work, most of them. Outdoor activities are huge for our community, such as fishing, hunting, and then dirt bikes. A lot of our students grow up riding dirt bikes and even race dirt bikes as they, um, are growing up. So there's different lifestyles for each community. So we have two communities that are lower on the economic scale, and then we have one that's upper middle class. So that those differences kind of are really embedded within our community. So and we'll talk about that more on later slides, but it's very different from, for example, Overbrook to Carbondale and Scranton. So typically, throughout Osage County, which is where our school district is located, um, it's a low economic area. And actually, many people are moving outside of our district to find better working opportunities or just moving to a more um, established area within Kansas. But our school district is pushing for innovation through technology. Our previous superintendent, Dr. Pegram, really has pushed this over his 12-year tenure at Santa Fe Trail. So I've been here 3 years, and for all the 3 of my years here, we've been getting more and more technology for our students. This includes one-to-one technology. Each kid in our district has a Chromebook or an iPad, depending on the level. But technology is a big deal in our school district, and our school district in the state is actually on one of the upper ends as far as innovation goes. So we have 4 buildings within our school district, and each one of them is located in a different community. So that has been, or that is, um, you know, and I talked about the communities hold a lot of pride within each separate town, so that sometimes the community members aren't happy that their kid has to travel 30 minutes perhaps to a school when they live within a community, but our school district has consolidated, so that's just the way it is as of now. Okay, but we have 4 different school districts, and these school districts have handled, or these schools, sorry, have handled change differently. So some of our population characteristics, our education rates, 90% within our area have a high school graduation degree or higher, and only 19% have a bachelor's degree or higher. Demographics, the median age within Osage County is 38, and it's pretty split evenly with 51% female and 49% male. Most of our workers are, for males, there's factory or construction, and then military as well, as we're located near Topeka and there's Forbes Field right down our road. So a lot of people feed into the military from our schools. Female healthcare is huge, and then military as well. So we do have quite a few people get involved with the military or have family members that are involved in the military. And like I said earlier, approximately 30-minute drive to work, which is Topeka is our big hub. So racially, we are extremely white. Not a lot of diversity within our school district or our county even. The next highest would be Hispanic. So some of our communication channels, printed, we have the Topeka Capital Journal, and then within our county, the Osage County Chronicle. So it's not uncommon to see a lot of people reading these two printed newspapers. TV sources, we have KSNT News, Channel 27, and then WWW Channel 13. Promotes sports, and then just the local news that are going on within our communities. And then social media, this is where our school gets big into sharing information. Facebook and Twitter are huge for our school. We do celebrate our student successes and publish whenever something positive is taking place within our school. So that's how we share most of our um, information throughout the communities in our school district. All right, so community groups, again, I've said this previously, each separate town is a strong community. One's rich, and then two are on the lower scale economically. There's a little bit of poverty within Carbondale and Scranton, but then Overbrook again is more of our wealthy um, area. So, like our school we're at right about somewhere in the 40s, right below 50% of our students are on free and reduced public school lunches. And most of those kids on the free and reduced lunches are going to be within the Carbondale and Scranton areas. Overbrook is a larger community, so that's why we're not any higher than 40% on that. Yeah. And then obviously athletic teams. Band is huge within our school. Our band director is K through 12, so I think they start in fifth grade, but he recruits kids as soon as they're getting into school, talking to them with if they're interested in playing band. And our band is huge and it is very good. Choir is another one. And then obviously PTO and school board members, that's kind of a community. And then we do have a high religious following within our community, being in rural Kansas. So there are quite a few different church groups in each community. So some leadership, our community leaders, again, we have three separate communities. So we have Carbondale Mayor Mike Fulton, Overbrook Mayor John Brady, Scranton Mayor Keith Miner, and then within our county, the Osage County Sheriff Lori Dunn is our sheriff officer. And again, our schools, we are fortunate enough to have at least one armed officer within each one of our four buildings in our district. So that does make you feel a little bit better, especially with school violence taking place in recent years. So our school district is fortunate enough to have an armed officer. School leaders, Superintendent Steve Pegram, he actually has resigned and he'll be taking a new job. But he's been here and he's kind of where our school is. He's set up the foundation for our innovation within our school. So, I'm very happy to have learned from him. So it'll be interesting to see how our school district transitions to a new superintendent. So I'll get to see, a new leadership right before my eyes and see how that plays out. School board, the leader of that is Randy Budman. Principals, Dave Fernkoff is at our grade school, which is in Overbrook. Christy Hammond is at the middle school, which is in Carbondale. And then Patrick Graham's the high school principal, and then our high school is located kind of in the middle of our school district. So it's about a 15-minute drive from each community, 15 to 20-minute drive from each community. So kind of sits out in the middle in the rural countryside. And then athletic directors, TJ Meyer and Keith Johnson. TJ was here for a year, and he recently took a new job out in western Kansas to be back home. And I'm going to miss him tremendously. He was a great reference for me and a resource. So again, I'll get to see another leadership shift at my school. So it'll be interesting to see, just different thoughts and leadership styles. So I'm looking forward to learning from the new leaders in our district as well. All right, so some characteristics of our community leaders. Yeah, our community is very tight. Even within our different communities, they do hold Santa Fe Trail to be kind of the focal point, and they have a lot of pride in our school. So it's not uncommon to see many of our community leaders at sporting events or other school functions. Again, we're a small rural community, so there's some different family groups that have large families, and everybody's related to everybody, it seems like, down here. So they do attend our school functions, so you do see them quite a bit. School leaders within our schools, they're always in the hallways, and they do pop in the classroom from time to time. So that's very positive. I think that's very important to see your leaders. So they do a great job of interacting with our student body and the staff. Economic conditions, yeah. So unemployment rates 3.8%, and our population in Osage County is not a large population. We're rural Kansas. Again, so medium household income 59,000. A lot of that does come from Overbrook again. So Overbrook is a fairly large community, and then in the rural pockets around, there are some high rates of poverty as well. So um, again, just below 50% are on free and reduced school lunches. Um, Median value of owner occupied housing units about 115,000, and then more people are moving out than coming in. So, and even since I've been there, there's been less and less kids enrolling in our school systems. And we were a 4A high school in Kansas. There's six different classes, 1A through 6A. So we were a 4A high school in sporting activities, and then recently we've dropped down to a 3A high school across all sports. So that just kind of shows you the drop in our attendance or enrollment rates. All right, no political structure. So in Kansas, education's been a hot topic as it has been across the nation. Funding obviously is the major topic. So Kansas has shifted from Republican control to Democratic control this past election cycle. Governor Laura Kelly just recently passed a school finance law that will increase school funding by 90 million. So obviously, as a teacher within Kansas, we are happy about that, a little pay raise. Um, School districts, though, are still arguing that this will not be enough to cover the needs within Kansas education. But at least at the minimum, this is a step in the right direction, obviously, to fund schools. Social tensions. Again, there's not very much diversity within our school district. So racially, there's not as many issues. Obviously, we are not diverse, so kids don't grow up with knowing other racial customs and cultures. So that is a little bit of a negative thing, I think. I think it's important for kids to be exposed to diversity and then learn to interact with obviously different groups of people. Um, but again, within our district, that's not a huge controversy at the moment. Economic tensions, though, are is a social issue we have. Obviously, Overbrook, I've mentioned before, is a wealthier town. So sometimes they look down upon the people of Carbondale and Scranton. So that's just again um, a little bit unfortunate, but that's just kind of the way it is right now. And then Kansas is a red state traditionally, but Republicans versus Democrats um, still get debated, and you hear it a lot from the students too. All right, extra sources of information. Obviously, we have school websites, Board of Education minutes posted, and then each one of our communities has their own separate website where you could learn about the different policies going on within the communities. Power structures. So typically, we're pretty standard here, obviously, in a school district, but Board of Education runs it all. Elect the superintendent. The superintendent then hires principals. Principals hire the teachers. So pretty standard there. Multicultural issues. Again, we are very limited racially, as our district is almost entirely white. But economically, it's pretty close to 50%. 50% is on free and reduced school lunches. So that's kind of where our main issue is. There's just such a difference in classes between the communities. And you can see it just driving through each community that, the standard of living at this place is a little bit better than, the other two towns within our community. But our community has done some awesome things. Our school district, rather, has opened up free meals to anyone up to the age of 18 for our summer um, program. So if you are in, any one of our communities, you go to the school and they will serve you breakfast and lunch. So that's a great way to help make sure that our needs are getting met. Because some of those kids go home and they don't have much to eat. So our school has done a great job um, helping out some of those less fortunate students. Our school is viewed very positively overall within the district. We're pushing hard for innovation, but at the same time, some of those old school thoughts sneak through, and people question, why we are pushing all this technology. But overall, it's a very good thing. All right, last slide. Public opinion surveys. Our district sends out weekly newsletters at all levels. Parents can see what's going on. yearbook crews, send out questionnaires so we can get some feedback that way. And then we have community nights with